The Twin Moon Knight Rellana really is almost as perfect as a Souls boss can get. The more humanoid boss type has always generally been my favorite, but it's just pulled off so flawlessly here in terms of design, balance, and difficulty. She's Pontiff Sullivan, reimagined. And although the Knight type boss with an orange flaming sword and a light blue magic sword is clearly reminiscent of Pontiff in aesthetic, the moveset is incredibly similar as well. Shadow of the Erdtree and Dark Souls 3 both up the speed and tenacity of their bosses in their respective franchises quite drastically. Pontiff acted as the first true wall of this type in Dark Souls 3, and Rellana serves the same function in Shadow of the Erdtree. When you first start to engage with her moveset, you'd be forgiven for thinking it was less of a traditional moveset with X amount of distinct moves and combos and more just dual flailing swords attached to a boss who moves constantly and randomly. The more you fight, however, the more you learn she does have patterns and tells. But much like Pontiff, the overall pace and energy in this fight is hectic and stressful in all of the best ways. But it remains very easy to forget what you've learned and treat her more like an actual player who can do whatever move they want whenever they feel like doing it. Boasting significantly more health than the Dancing Lion, who I felt was tanky as hell, this fight will be a fervent and high-paced one, but not necessarily a quick one. Bleed and staggers did some heavy lifting for me, and as I was building towards finally beating her, I was using her stagger timings to my advantage. But holy, sometimes she gets moving and she really just has no interest in stopping. The way her moveset is built is just brilliant. You're gonna get hit often, but not a lot of her moves do major damage. Some of them do, to be fair, but these are typically her easier to foresee and avoid ones, and they're the ones you'll eventually come to eagerly anticipate as they end with hefty punish windows. Her attacks are just so enjoyable to flow with. Dodging in certain directions or employing precise positioning can net you neat windows for damage between her moves, or they can allow for you to be better positioned for when her combo eventually comes to an end. It reminds me of Godfrey in a way, where there's a constant rhythm of dodging and attacking as you find yourself exploring every corner of the beautiful arena. Her glint blade phalanx will come out often and will throw a pretty severe wrench in the way you handle some of her moves, chipping you as it distracts you from Rellana rushing across the arena and carving you into sashimi.
For me, impossible.
Her more dramatic giant carry and greatsword attack has a peculiar timing to it but allows for a heavy punish after, and it's just so damn cool. Phase 1 is fantastic, feeling overwhelming at first before you learn how she moves and how best you can handle her while checking every single box of showmanship. I love a boss like this, where the moveset eventually becomes easier to engage with but remains oh so punishing since a single mistimed dodge or greedy attack can throw your rhythm off enough that you get hit by her next few attacks and die instantly. As she hits half health, she ignites her two swords in their respective elements, and remains pretty quiescent for a moment where you can either heal and get distance or beat the ever-loving shit out of her. This can shrink her second half if you manage a bleed or a stagger or just do enough damage, but she makes up for that by kicking her intensity and ferocity up to an 11. Her combos last longer, hit significantly harder, and feature new moves unique to this phase. A key strategy as you learn phase 1 is pausing for the slightest of moments between her attacks before confirming she is in fact done and it's your turn to attack, which was a similar approach I took to Godfrey, funnily enough. But employing that strategy here will do nothing but throw your opportunity to attack out the window as she now takes far less time between moves. She adds a chaotic fire AoE and her namesake twin moon attack, neither of which are overly hard to avoid but do deal insane amounts of damage while looking just flat out gorgeous. For her fire move, simply rolling backwards and then watching where the ground erupts and avoiding it will suffice, and for her twin moon attack, despite it looking like all holy hell breaking loose, just remember to fucking jump. His spinning elemental spewage? You can just fucking jump. My mom liked that joke in the last video, so this is a callback for her. Thanks for watching, Mom. Oh, and if you missed that video, then go check it out. If you've made it this far into this one, then it should be right up your alley. And while you're there, feel free to make my day and subscribe. There are many, many ways to create an excellent type of boss, and FromSoft has become the master at a great deal of them. And when it comes to fast, nimble swordsmen, well, it doesn't really get much better than Rellana. I said it at the beginning that she was almost as perfect as a Souls boss could be, and honestly, I'm not really sure what I'd do to improve her. Her OST and Arena are great while not being proper 10 out of 10s, so maybe I'd start there. But after that, no notes. Rellana the Twin Moon Knight has already firmly shoved herself into my Elden Ring top 3, alongside my beloved Melania and someone else from this DLC we'll be discussing very soon. Thanks for watching and take care.